Okay, we heard Superbooth 2026, tasty chips. You're back.
Yes,
I've only
we're
seen
back.
you like 2 or 3 years ago when you showed the prototype of the Mega, which is actually way smaller than I imagined. It looked really big like 2 years ago. And usually you only have the GR-1, and now you brought out the GR-2.
Yes.
So, what's new? And why did it take you so long?
Well, good development takes, of course, a while. And we wanted to nail it on the head when we made the successor to the GR-1. The GR Mega wasn't really the successor because that became the flagship model of Tasty Chips Electronics, and that was the learning and development ground for everything granular that we wanted to do, make it very surgical, make it have all the potential brought out. That's why it became the Mega. It's very big for that reason. But eventually people wanted to have a more portable version, so we listened to all the advice, and that became the GR-2, the real successor to the GR-1.
So, yeah, well, what's new? It still has four layers or channels, but it has a much larger screen and some effects on the side, I guess. What's different now?
This time we have a touchscreen, so immediately we can swipe up and interact with the screen. We can pull down layers, menus, we can turn on multi-timbral layering. We can immediately save, load and rename copy files over here.
Let's maybe start with that, because this has always been a pain until firmware 3.0.
Yeah, in the GR1. It was how do you say, a good critique from the community, where we thought we need to address this, and we wanted to improve that a long time ago, but the problem is the file management. It's so at the core of what the user uses that you cannot mess around with that and expect everything to be stable. So it took a while to keep everyone's work safe and make a new user interface for the file handling. And we first did that on the GR Mega, where we wanted to have just a double push to save your files, make everything way more accessible and less actions, and not be that much of a hassle in regards to file management.
And can you just show this with the GR2? How do you load and save something?
For example, we press Shift plus Save. Maybe that will even become save, but the menu is pretty small. So here we have the save menu. If we would touch patch, we can then also save a multi-timbral preset, your templates, which is everything but the sample. You can save your projects and even the sample that you recorded, for example, and we're back at patches. You could then press save and now your patch is saved. Loading, if you press it, just load alone, you immediately get in the preset menu. So here we have a whole list of presets that you can load.
And this is just one layer of presets now, so not folders with folders and folders. And some patches and presets and whatever hidden in there. Samples.
If you want the more expanded menu, you can Shift plus Load, and that will bring you to this selection screen where you can basically say, hey, I only want patches, presets, samples, and then you will dive in the menu.
Well, I never got my head around that.
I get it. Let's have a look, for example, how it is now. This menu is not per se touchscreen friendly because it's very small yet, but we will improve that. If we go, for example, to user, let's go in there, and then you can double tap basically inside the menu. There's no samples yet here. And then easily go back, for example, and navigate around this menu. Other thing, by the way, I'm sorry for interjecting, but if we press the menu button right here, then we get into a tiled menu where you not only can load and save your presets here, but also load and save templates, the multi-timbral presets projects, go to the file manager for sample handling, but also go to patch settings. So we basically split up all those big menus and made them all small parallel menus. So everything is basically 2 touches away.
Yes, but it's still more accessible because now you can find everything, and this has been one of the major problems, that you got a whole list of presets, and until you finish them you have to scroll for 3 meters. And now it's much more accessible.
Yeah, we wanted to really give the music back to the musician and not have it like this programming device where you really have to work hard to get a result. This time everything is 2 steps away, so you can focus on what's important, and that's the music.
How did this happen? Did you initially have a Windows developer, or?
No. It's actually Peter, the founder and chief engineer. He doesn't really have the musical background, so he loves like to program. He's able to move mountains in programming and that kind of stuff. But there was a little blind spot in regards to the musical workflow, because that's not his background. When I joined the team, that was my focus point. Like, hey, we gotta improve that. So we started collaborating, have discussions about this, and I brought up the importance of making this workflow for musicians way more accessible, way more efficient. And Peter listened very well, implemented all the features. It took a while because development, you want to do it right. And that's why it took a while, but in 2023 we introduced the GR Mega, which was already the fruits of our labor. And now in 2026 we wanted to have the real successor, which takes a lot of the learning curve from the GR Mega. And now it's this cute, tiny little square, which is actually a powerhouse of a device.
And can you explain maybe the differences between this and the GR-1? In the GR-1 I had 4 layers, and then I could apply basically granular effects and some other effects like reverb and delay. Where can I find it here?
The effects and delays?
Maybe let's just start playing something. If you load a sample and then apply a granular.
Yeah, for sure. Let's first go to a monotimbral preset. So this is where you are greeted in the main screen. If we want a preset, for example, let's pick the Glimmer Shimmer. We confirm, and now we loaded it already. Then we have the signal flow going from left to right. If this is granular engine, let's have a play. Yeah, there we go. So here we hear the granular engine. So we start here. The dedicated menu buttons, we call it the quick access menus, because if we long press, then you get an extended menu. Hold it again to collapse, or you can pull it out. Then we have control, for example, over the tilt of the window. We can select a different type of window, have amplitude modulation, for example.
So this has been available previously in the GR-1, but it was hidden in the menu, and then you had to apply a filter to one of the FX buttons, and it was really a pain. And now it's readily available.
Yeah, it was at that time there wasn't really the workflow was not really taken into account at that time, and here everything is immediately within reach. For example, let's go to the filter.
Yes.
We don't even have to enter the menu to immediately get it under your fingertips. But we can pull it down, for example, and also see what's happening down here.
And can you apply an LFO to that now?
Absolutely. Let's go here.
Okay. There's a mod matrix.
Yeah, there's a mod matrix. So let's say LFO 1. Let's have a look where it is. Here we go. We have 80 destinations, so sometimes you have to look for it. And then from here we can apply some modulation over there. And this is the long route. So now, here we see the modulation applied to the cutoff. But we can also do it up front in the main screen. Let's say, for example, LFO 3, search the destination.
Okay, yeah. You can select it right there.
Yeah. low pass cutoff, and then apply that modulation here as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's another workflow improvement. Effects, let's have a look. So here we can scroll through 4 slots for effects. We have plenty of effects for you.
You can apply now 4 effects per layer.
Yes,
in a chain.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really big improvement in comparison to the GR-1. By the way, what do we have? Gotta press it. So we have a vibrato effect. We have distortion. We haven't made presets yet, so sometimes you don't hear it. Let's give it.
Yeah. Speaking of haven't made it yet, when will this be available?
Yeah, this is a prototype that's at 90%. The Kickstarter is going really well. I think we already announced it like 3 days ago. So I think we can basically promise that this unit will be released at the end of this year, around September, October. Then we will take it into production and probably ship it out pretty close after that. Yeah.
And on Kickstarter, what is the current price, or early bird price and then later regular price?
The regular price I do know. I don't know the Kickstarter price yet. That maybe we can ask Peter later. But the price point for the GR2 is 850, including VAT. So it's the same price point as the GR1 was back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And we wanted to keep it there because that's the flagship model and this is the consumer model. Our product line really sharpened up. So we have now these 2 models. One is a little bit more portable and affordable. Or if you really need all the power and all the granular surgical precision, please get the GR Mega.
Yeah. And now you got the sample set up and some filters applied and it's granular and all, and you can play it with the keyboard?
Yes, exactly. Now we got here the Rolly C block, which is MPA, and it also supports MPA. So let's turn off the drone mode.
Yep.
And here
so because it's granular, it's already pitch shifted.
Yeah.
And you can play it as long as you like because it takes all these little grains that have disappeared. There they are.
Yes. And of course, hey, I haven't even talked about that it's a multi-engine. So we have the granular engine. We can swipe it up here, then switch to for example, the sample engine. Let's go an octave higher. We have tape mode. Apologies.
Okay.
That was inside the option, that's why it switched. So that was the tape.
Do you still have a delay active, or is this part of the tape mode?
That was part of the tape mode, and it's stepwise scattering through the sample. So that's why it skipped like pew, pew, pew. It had a position modulation. And this is the phase vocoder engine. Now let's see, there's some pitch modulation going on. Let's maybe get rid of that. Pitch, turn it all the way down. So this is the phase vocoder engine, spectral engine, where we have multiple FFT lengths. So this is the big FFT from 8,192 samples, which we can reduce to 256, which really gives us this MP3 quality. Maybe I get a different preset because the
I was wondering about these knobs here. In the GR1, these were applied to. Okay, and now they're actually changing the meaning.
Yes.
Because this has been direction and pitch and whatever.
Yes, exactly. These are like endless encoders, so the digital environment really works well with this physical UI. Because if we change the engine, then all the parameters are then switched accordingly. For example, now we have that spectral engine. Let's get rid of that filter over there. So this is the phase vocoder engine. And now we're phase vocoding through this original sample. So it's a pretty processed sample already.
Yeah.
But in the phase vocoding engine, it sounds like this.
And how is this done? Just some low pass, high pass filter applied and some delay, or what is it?
Oh, let's have a look. Okay, there's plenty of modulation going on.
Okay.
But it's especially on the all the phase vocoding parameters. There is some delay. Let's get rid of some stuff. Let's basically remove everything.
Okay.
So now we are working with pure. This is really phase vocoding, very steady. And the phase FFT length has a drastic effect on the sound output. So here we have a really big block size which maintains a lot of the quality, but we can really reduce it and like make it fast and glitchy. Scan through. Of course, that's really where it gets its power.
So in your opinion, the GR-1 used to be like an ambient machine, which could turn any sound into an ambient drone.
Yes.
Now this can do a lot more.
Absolutely.
This can get really nasty. It's no longer just ambient.
Yes, and that's what I want to show you right now. If we go to this and, for example, get this multi-timbral presets, immediately 4 layers. Shall we immediately go into it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Yeah, so, okay, the top one is doing a ping pong back and forth, and then the second one is playing. Okay, you got an LFO on the area that is applied on the second one. And then the third one is going backwards now.
Yes, exactly. So we have 3 granular presets. Let me reduce them one by one.
Oh, speaking of which, you can mute one of the layers here as well.
Yes.
Can you also do that via MIDI?
I think so, yes. It should be doable. I haven't really tried it yet, but basically for sure we can do it. So as you can see, you make a layer mix with the touchscreen, but you can also go with the knobs on top. So you can perform with a multi-timbral preset.
Yeah, but this is already a huge improvement, like turning one layer on and off and getting really control over that. Of yeah, exactly, soloing that. This has been really tricky in the previous version.
Yes. So basically, let's mute everything. Yeah, and that's really the thing that we wanted to do right now, is just make this machine as playable as possible, super pleasant, to have a really super pleasant granular workflow on here, and yeah, give the music back to the people with basically almost immediately under their fingertips.
One more pain point, does it have audio input now?
Yes, yes, we finally did it. Yeah, let's have a look at the back.
Yep.
Very carefully, but yeah, we got some audio inputs there.
Does it only accept audio over the analog inputs, or audio over USB too? Does it have a USB interface?
Yes, you can. Let's have a look at the sampling menu. For example, we have the analog inputs. We can also internally resample the output back into the buffer.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. USB-C audio. And USB-A, you can still hook up these interfaces if you want. And we're back at the beginning. So yeah, multiple input sources for audio.
And can you apply all the granular things and the filters and effects while playing live? Or does it have to be sampled and recorded first?
Nope, you can do live granulation. So for example, if you have a drum loop, just plug in something in the input, press record, you're good to go, it will start recording immediately, and if you press play, then you can really real-time granulate everything while it's recording. Yeah.
Okay, this is something you already implemented in the Mega,
That's right.
and that's just carried over.
Yep.
So it's not some future stuff where we're not sure about how it's going to work. This already works in the Mega.
Yeah, we were already here, so yes, we wanted to make it like everyone thinks about that when they have this granular device. Like, hey, can we record output? So we have to. We did it. So this is exactly how you expect how you want it to behave. Can I record something? Yes. Can I live granulate it? Yes. Can I put effects on it? Yes. The answer is always yes.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks very much. I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.